Growing up in Africa as a child, you are told that United States of America is a country of riches. You are told that United States of America is such a beautiful place that our parents back then in the 90s and in the early 2000s, we were being told, study hard, work hard. You see so-and-so child went to the United States of America. You should also work hard and go to the United States of America. You see, the US was placed as an epitome of success. It was placed as an epitome of every nice thing coming from there. As a child, you understand your parents and you know that your parents are always perfect. You see them as exalted beings, As a child, you don't have that conscious awareness to judge things. You don't have that conscious awareness to see things for what they truly are. And for my age, back then when I was a child in the early 90s, in the 90s, late 90s, and in the early 2000s, we didn't have internet like the ones we have today. We didn't have things like Facebook, Twitter, whatever, all these, we didn't have. What we had was the traditional media. I remember the only TV station I knew about back then was CNN. CNN is as old as I don't know what, So I used to see America from the TV, a black and white TV, which was also very rare to find. A few African homes had these, very few African homes had these TVs. And we would go somewhere into some other people's houses and watch. But in our own house, we had these small black and white TV. We used to go there and watch news. I would see the beautiful New York, the beautiful San Francisco Bridge, until we also had the Twin Towers, which was bombed by the airplane jackers. That one also, I watched it when I was a child on a Great Wall TV. But you see, America was only being shown by the Western media. Then they were showing the good sides. They were showing the best sides. They didn't show the problem that we know exists today, the hunger problem, the house problem, the terror problem, the school shooting problem, the police brutality against black people. They didn't show us that. It is today through social media that we are able to see America for what it is, because these individuals who are YouTubers, YouTubers like me, TikTokers, people who do Instagram, are able to go on the actual ground of America, record and share with us. And now, the more we grow, the more we have awareness. And American leaders, not just American, but these leaders who come from developed countries, they really don't want to talk about the problems of their country, particularly on camera. They really don't want that. They want to paint their country in the best image. You understand? And so we have a very interesting figure. A figure by the name of Sanders, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is an African, is a senator who is white, and he was able to acknowledge that the United States has a problem of housing, it has a family problem issue, it has a problem of oligarchs. All that things which political leaders are afraid of exposing to the world, this man is exposing. Not only just to make his country be shameful, but to acknowledge the problem of the people living in that country and to try and find a solution to the problems of housing, to the problems of education, to the problem of police brutality, and so many others. I want us to watch this video, listen to Senator Bernie Sanders. I keep on confusing the name. And I shall get back by the end of the video, where we shall also have a deep, critical analysis. Let's dive in.
As we come to the end of 2024, it might be helpful to take a hard look at where we are as a nation and how we can best go forward. And let me be honest with you in saying that we are in an extraordinarily pivotal and volatile moment in American history, and things are moving very, very rapidly. The most important point that I want to stress today is how fast our country is evolving into an oligarchic society and into two very different Americas. On one hand, we have an America that consists of less than 1,000 billionaires, not a whole lot of people in a nation of 340 million, who have an unprecedented amount of wealth and power and have never, ever had it so good. That's one America. The other America, where the vast majority of our people live, consists of tens of millions of families who are struggling to put food on the table, pay their bills, and worry that their kids will have a lower standard of living than they do. In the first America, the uber wealthy buy $500 million yachts, $270 million mansions. They have private islands all to themselves. They got fleets of jets to take them all over the world. And occasionally they take cool trips on rocket ships that blast off to the edge of outer space. A lot of fun. They also receive the best health care money can buy, and they send their kids to the very best private schools and colleges in the world. In this America, the three wealthiest men, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, own more wealth than the bottom half of our society. Three people own more wealth than the bottom half of our society. And their wealth is skyrocketing. Musk alone is now worth over $450 billion. And combined, these three men are now worth almost $1 trillion. In the other America, millions of Americans are struggling just to provide for the basic necessities of life. In this America, over 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck. Millions work for starvation wages. 85 million are uninsured or underinsured. And over 60,000 die each year because they can't afford to go to a doctor on time. In other words, we are living in a nation today where a handful of billionaires have more money than they could spend in 1,000 lifetimes, while at the same time, millions are living in desperation, fear, and are struggling to survive. But let's be clear. Our country is not just experiencing an unprecedented level of income and wealth inequality. Today, the ruling elite have brought about a situation in which we now have more concentration of ownership than we have ever had before. In other words, a small number of giant corporations have enormous control over our economy in sector after sector: healthcare, agriculture, financial services, energy, transportation, you name it. A small number of giant conglomerates control what is produced and how much we as consumers pay for their products. Unbelievably, just three Wall Street firms, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, control assets of more than $22 trillion. These three Wall Street firms are the major shareholders in 95% of S&P 500 companies, exerting enormous control of the largest corporations in the world. Three Wall Street firms, unbelievable power. And that is not all in terms of what's going on today. It's not just the billionaire ownership and control over the economy and the media that should concern us. The uber rich are also buying our government. They are buying our government and undermining American democracy. Never before in our history have we seen a ruling class with so much political power. As a result of the disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, billionaires and their super PACs can spend unlimited sums of money on political campaigns. And that is exactly what they are doing. You get one vote. They get to spend unlimited amounts of money. During the 2024 election cycle, just 150 billionaires 150 people, spent nearly $2 billion to buy politicians who support their agenda and to defeat candidates who oppose their special interests. Billionaires who represent just 0.0005% of our population accounted for 18% of total campaign spending. My friends, that is not democracy. That is not one person, one vote. That is not what this country is supposed to stand for. In his Gettysburg Address in 1863, President Abraham Lincoln spoke about, quote, a government of the people, by the people, for the people, end quote. Well, sadly today, we have a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, for the billionaire class. We are in a pivotal and unprecedented moment in American history. That's the simple reality. Either we fight aggressively all over this country to create a government and an economy that works for all of us, or we will continue to move rapidly down the path of oligarchy and the rule of the super rich. The choice is clear. We must stand together for democracy and justice. Let's do it.
When we have leaders who acknowledge that there is a problem to something, that is the beginning of the solution. But when we ignore the existence of a problem, we ignore the solution. Bernie Sanders is an outspoken senator in the United States of America. He speaks not only for his own race, he speaks for the entire country of the United States of America as required by the Constitution. We know so well that the Constitution really does not favor black people, rather it favors whites and those people, maybe the Chinese and the Indians, but we know it favors more of the whites than the black community, you know. Concerning whatever Sanders has said, Bernie Sanders has said is that the acknowledgement of problems of housing, the political instability, the coming of oligarchs, the establishment of institutions that are not there to service the people of the United States of America, but rather to service themselves and to service their business. Sometimes politics can become a business for the people. And I am happy, even though I see on the comment section some people are calling Sanders an oligarch, you know. Even though he's an oligarch, as some people might say, I don't have no proof for that, he speaks out. We need leaders who speak out, leaders who acknowledge the problem for the people. Because through this, we find a solution, you know. Not that somebody who makes everything look so nice. You know, you might pretend that everything is nice, but someone else is hurting. You might pretend that you own something and you really don't own it. You're suffering. Maybe you hired it and you're suffering with it. This is a very, very big problem to us black people, to the people of the United States of America. And I'm so excited. I'm so happy to find a white leader speak about problem of class, speak about political instability, speak about democracy, because democracy is not really democracy in the United States of America. Democracy is there to service some specific individuals. It's a good thing that Senator Bernie Sanders has been able to say all this, and I want us to continue this discussion on the comment section. Share your thoughts. Let's get to understand one another and let's get to learn from one another. Share your thoughts on the comment section and let's further this discussion further and further. See you in the next one. This is EFK Original Documentary.